Okay, I'm going to walk you through purchase contract, and please ask any other questions you may have, because it is very important for you to understand this contract before you sign it. And before we dive into it, I want to take a look at the buyer's attachment here. The purchase contract is divided into 9 sections. The first section of the contract is the property that you as a buyer want to buy and seller want to sell it. Property address, property, legal descriptions, full purchase price, earnest money, down payments, and loan. Earnest money can be a personal checks or wire transfer, and it is due within 24 hours after acceptance of contract. And if everything goes well, that's where the close of escrow will be dated. In addition to this contract, there will be additional addenda that will be attached to this contract. Examples will be wire fraud advisory, and please do not wire money to any email or any request to do so. Market advisory and COVID addenda. The last section of this part here will be any personal property that will be conveyed with the property. Here we have dryer and washer and refrigerator. Alright, section 2 of the contract, purchase contract. Section 2 of the purchase contract is about finance. In this section, there is a couple of contingency that help you as a buyer to get out of this contract if you try your very best and you are unable to obtain loan. But you can't be able to get out of the contract because of interest change, or you do not have enough finance to close the escrow. So if you're unable to obtain loan, you just have to notify the seller before 3 days prior to close of escrow, and you'll be good to go. And also in this section, it's required that you as a buyer to complete your loan application within 3 days after this contract is accepted. Here the type of financing that we are doing conventional loan. That's why I have it attached, check mark here. And also appraisal cost. A buyer will be paid. Buyer will be paying appraiser to do appraisal, and also it is non-refundable fee. That's one thing that you have to know. That pretty much that's the end of the section 2, unless you have any other questions here. If not, we can move to the next section, which is title and escrow. Section 3 of the contract. Section 3 of the contract is title and escrow. This is the company that we use for title and escrow. Arizona is a community state, so it is very important for you to decide before the close of escrow how you're going to carry your title. So if you're married, the property that I acquired during the marriage is community property, co-ownership. So title company, title commitment, title insurance. The escrow company will deliver CCR documents, title commitment documents, and title insurance documents to you. So it's very important for you to go through those documents once they're provided to you, to see anything that you do not they don't approve. Our escrow company will prorate tax and any assessment that is on the property, including liens on the property. That's it pretty much. Do you have any other questions on these sections? If not, we can go to our section 4, which is disclosure. Seller has 3 days. Seller has 3 days to provide a buyer with the property disclosure. and buyer has 5 days to disapprove any item in it. Seller also have 5 days to provide the buyer with insurance claim history. Buyer has 5 days to disapprove any item in that claim history, and the seller has to disclose if they're foreigner. If property is built before 1978, seller late base paint also has to be disclosed. If property is located in unincorporated county, affidavit of disclosure is required if more than fewer than 5% of land being transferred. All right, section 5 of contract. Section 5 of this contract is warranty. It is stated here that buyer and seller agree that property is being sold as it is. Present conditions, warranty that survive the closing. Seller disclosed to buyer and broker all material defects and information that is known to the seller. Seller also warrant that buyer that all labor costs is paid in full. Buyer warrant to a seller that buyer disclose all information that may affect buyer ability to close the escrow. This is what pretty much is saying that you as buyer, you have to let the seller know that all information that affects your ability to get loan is being disclosed to the seller, and also that's what it is. Then section 6, this is very important section right here. It is about inspection of the property. You as a buyer has 10 days after acceptance of the contract to do all inspection that you desire on the property. And some of the inspection that you want, it's a general home inspection, roofing, electrical, plumbing, flood hazard, and before the end of the inspection period, you as a buyer have to deliver any item that you disapprove. And you can either elect to cancel the contract. Buyer can elect to cancel the contract or request seller to fix the item that they disapprove. If not, the seller has 5 days to respond to that. If they don't respond within 5 days, you can elect to cancel the contract or proceed with the contract without those items being fixed. And also square footage. If you think you want to confirm if the square footage is correct, you have to hire a surveyor. And also other inspection that you may need is termites inspection. If you think that's important, you have to order an inspector to come do that for you. Alright, section 7 here. Section 7 is about remedies. If one part of the contract is not fulfilling terms of the contract, the other party can deliver cure notice, and the non-complying party has 3 days to comply with the terms of the contract. If not, the other party can elect to cancel the contract and proceed. And some of the ways to resolve any conflict that arises due to other party not performing their obligation or contract terms is listed here. You can go through it and see what they're saying. And the next section is section 8, additional terms and conditions. We do not have additional terms here at the moment, but we do have conditions under which this contract is valid. Some of the conditions here is risk of loss of the property. If property is lost, this property is lost or damaged during before the close of escrow, let's say due to flood, fire, earthquake, then and is greater than 10% of, then it's a buyer can elect to cancel the contract and seller is responsible to it. Permission. Buyer and seller agree to give brokers, buyer broker and seller broker, permission to advise the public on this contract. And Arizona law, this contract is governed by Arizona state law. Time of essence. Party acknowledge that this time is the essence of performance obligation, so which means time is of importance here. Compensations. Compensations. Buyer and seller acknowledge that brokers, those two brokers, seller broker and buyer brokers, will be compensated for this break. Copies and counterparts. Here pretty much is saying that all copies of these contracts are treated as original contract days. All days referenced in these contracts are calendar days, and they start at the 12 a.m. and ends at 11:59. Entire contract, all addendum, all pages of this contract, it is part of the contract. It's counted as an agreement. Or subsequent offers. So buyer acknowledge the seller has right to accept subsequent offer before the close of escrow, and seller also acknowledge that any offer that they accept after accepting this offer, is the backup offer, is subjected to this offer cancellations. Pretty much that is. And okay, and here is the close of escrow. Not close of escrow, but here it is a timeline that seller has to accept or decline the contract. Section 9. Our last section 9 is seller's acceptance. Sellers can choose to accept the contract, reject the contract, or counter the offer. That's it, pretty much the end of the contract. Do you have any other questions? Let me know. Thanks.